Hello everyone, today we're going to be going over the organs in our fetal pig that we have skinned. The tools we're going to be using today is our toolbox with our scalpel, scissors, and probe, and we're also going to be utilizing these T-pins today to pin the pig so that we can better view the organs. Let's get started. So I'm going to start by taking my scalpel and making an incision from the thoracic cavity down through the abdominal cavity. So I'm going to take my scalpel here, make that first incision, and I'm going to need to put a decent amount of pressure. I'm cutting through the muscle and I'm cutting through the rib cage at the top here. And once I reach the umbilical cord, I can actually go around, and I'm trying to be careful not to pierce the liver and other organs in the abdominal cavity. And it might take a few times to pierce through the thoracic cavity here because remember we have that rib cage. You can make one initial cut and then stick your fingers through to see if you've cut deep enough and kind of tease apart the two separate sections here. So I'm just literally pulling the two sections with my fingers, separating the two sides, and now I have exposed the organs. As you can see right here, we have the heart followed by the liver, and now we can drain the fluid. There's going to be a lot of fluid in your pig, so it's another thing you can be careful of is when you're piercing you might have fluid that may come out, so be careful that it doesn't splash on you. And now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to drain the fluid, and then we're going to pin the muscle down on the tray so that we can better view the organs. So now that I've opened up the pig, I put a couple of T-pins to make the field of view a little bit better. And the first thing we're going to be looking at is the heart. So you're going to want to know the four chambers of the heart. Starting at the top, we have the right atrium. We have the left atrium. Up here, you can see there's a little division. They almost look like flaps here. So that's the left atrium, right atrium. Remember, everything is flipped. And right below the right atrium we have the right ventricle right here, and on the other side we have the left ventricle right here. Okay, toward the top of the in between the atriums you're going to find the aortic arch. That's going to be another landmark that you guys are going to need to know. And then of course we have our lungs right here. Okay, we have the upper lobes and the lower lobes right here. We have our liver down here as well. This is the big organ that is pretty obvious. Another thing is we have this diaphragm right here, and I know it's hard to see right now because it's cut, but that is going to be separating the thoracic and the abdominal cavity. So depending on how you guys cut, the diaphragm may still be intact. You can either choose to leave it intact or you can cut it as well, so whatever you prefer. Now we're going to move on to the abdominal region. Alright, so now we're moving on to the abdominal cavity, the organs in the abdominal cavity. We're going to start here with this liver. This is probably one of the bigger organs in the abdominal cavity. Right below the liver we have the spleen right here. So it's almost the same color as the liver. And right underneath the spleen and the liver we have the stomach, and that'll usually be inflated. And it's kind of hard to see in the video, but below the stomach we're going to have the pancreas. And the pancreas is very rough and bumpy, almost the texture of your tongue, and it's about the size, if not a little bit smaller than the spleen. Okay, now moving down we have the large intestine followed by the small intestine. And it's going to be hard to see in this video as well, but there's a little bit kind of a pouch, and that is the gallbladder, and it's usually more of a green-yellow color right kind of in the liver underneath side it, and that's going to be filled with bile, so a lot of the times it's going to be either yellow or green. And then lastly, way deep down we have our kidneys here, and the kidneys are going to be a little bit hard to show right now on camera, but underneath you have to drain the pig a little bit and move the intestines aside. You'll find the kidneys, and those are fairly large, and you're going to find one on each side. Okay, so this video is meant to just kind of give you a general direction of the organs, and once you guys are dissecting the pig and looking at the organs yourselves, you will find that it's a little bit easier to identify the organs. Okay, so I hope this video helped. Remember to utilize these T-pins to make the field of view better, and it should help out a lot.